The market is dead. The entire stock market is running on fumes right now, and those fumes are provided by the Federal Reserve. And this is not just in the US, it's for other countries as well. I'll show you Japan in a moment. For the time being, let's look at this article, Singapore dollar most vulnerable to US rates. So this is the chart showing you that here. What I want to talk to you about is that everywhere around the world, in a domino effect that I've mentioned multiple times, will be the result of a crash in the US. People in Canada are not worried about a crash in the US, finding themselves somehow apart from what occurs. However, many of the exports go to the US, and this is something that is for all around the world. This is a globalization here that will affect everyone. So it is everyone that is affected by an increase in interest rates in the US. And speaking of interest rates, CME sued on claims high frequency traders bought access. So you can read this article here. This is out of Bloomberg and basically goes into how the CME is now getting sued because of the high frequency traders. I've talked about this before, but basically the high frequency traders, for those who don't know, is individuals or companies who use computer algorithms to actually buy stocks and sell them back to you at a higher price so fast that they're happening in fractions of a second, happening over and over and over again. And this is basically a complete manipulation of the markets, and it shouldn't surprise you that it is completely legal. And this was the Libor scandal, of course, and they're talking about how they're fining them, which means nothing really. But the reason I'm mentioning this is because, yet again, this was rigging of the interest rates, which we all knew was going on, and then became public with this. But once again, the market is fictional. They're manipulating all the interest rates with high frequency trading. They're manipulating the prices of the stocks. What exactly is real anymore in this economy when individuals say that they want to get into the stock market, when they want to use a 401k or RRSP? How can you put your money into the system when you know specifically that it is being manipulated from all sides? The interest rate can dramatically move up in an instant, whether real or not, and that would throw everything off. The high frequency traders can push up the stock market in 1 minute if they want. So I personally do not recommend any money into the paper system. Here they're actually suggesting that the Renminbi, the Chinese currency, could become a viable option as a reserve currency. And of course, the reserve currency status that the US holds right now is being challenged at every rate. I've gone over this in my book repeatedly and on the Money GPS Insiders. But what I want to tell you is that this right here could throw off interest rates as well. So the market itself is reliant on the system staying the same, whether or not it is more beneficial to have the Chinese currency a reserve or not. It just means that we're going to have instability for a time period with that were to change rapidly. But I don't propose that this will happen in an overnight. Japan's Bank of Japan's Kuroda should be praised for quantitative easing. So in Japan, they're actually suggesting that he should be praised for printing money. This is no different than Ben Bernanke being hailed as a hero on the cover of a magazine, The Atlantic, actually saying that he should be a hero for printing money. And they're saying that this is the strategy that they need to use to get out of their deflation. They've been in a funk for decades, and right here, they're saying that they can somehow print money and get out of that problems. Well, right here they're printing trillions of dollars in Japan, and it is still not working. And in fact, I'll tell you why it's not working, because they have bigger problems to be worried about. Right here in Fukushima, once again, this is in March 2014, suggesting that they're going to dump the contaminated water into the Pacific. So here they are again talking about poisoning and polluting the environment even further. The ecosystem is being destroyed, and at the same time they're hailing the governor of the Bank of Japan saying that he's done such a great work printing all that money, when in fact this has been such a terrible experience overall, and they need to cut back on that and need to actually fix their zombie banking system. That's exactly what's going to happen in the US when the same thing happens here, when money printing no longer has an effect and in fact is really just supporting the system, keeping it alive barely, and that's all that there is to that. I hope that you guys will get onto the Money GPS Insiders. That is available at themoneygps.com, and basically that is an extension of the work I do in my book, and I hope that you will all get on there and you will get occasional emails from me that are very brief and very concise, and you'll join the others on there where we're building a really great community of individuals, and we can email back and forth and get a hold of really what's happening out there in the market and the economy and the geopolitical environment as a whole. Take care.